Any opinions, findings, and conclusions or recommendations expressed in this material are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the view of the National Science Foundation. This presentation presents details about an AS degree career pathway within the Florida State College system that includes a professional engineer's license. This presentation needs a transport back in time. The Wayback Machine might be an option. I don't have the knowledge and nerve to use Mr. Peabody's invention. However, the question, how you're going to keep them down on the farm after they've seen Paris, is a good way to focus attention on this topic. So we will use a simple pendulum to slide us into today's presentation. My exposure to this World War I Doughboy big question actually happened after World War II, when it was asked of the GI and the song became popular again. Moving our mindset to Florida, back on the farm didn't really come up until after the Korean War. At that time, the industrial military complex became a permanent fixture in Florida's economy, and NASA had established itself in Florida. Moving on, in the late 1970s, the state shifts economic incentives to citrus and tourist industry. This meant we had to put up with Anita Bryant, but it also meant that tourists could get a free glass of Florida citrus when they entered Florida. Also in the late 1970s, World War II veterans began to retire from industry. The University of South Florida and the University of Florida expanded their engineering technology BS programs in the early 1980s. USF and UF engineering technology BS programs met industry demands by the early 1990s. USF and UF shifted to a research focus and closed their ETBS programs by the mid-1990s. By the turn of the century, the National Science Foundation began to invest in rebuilding Florida's ET education infrastructure. It supported the creation of FLATE, the Florida Advanced Technological Education Center, as a National Science Foundation Center of Excellence. Today, the two-year AS degree in engineering technology is offered in 23 of the state colleges in Florida that range from Pensacola in the far west to Key West in the far south of the state. Engineering technology specializations include advanced manufacturing. There are 21 of the state colleges offering this specialization. Other specializations include advanced technology, alternative energy, biomedical systems, digital design and modeling, digital manufacturing, electronics, mechanical design and fabrication, protection and control technology, quality, and supply chain automation. These specializations and their spread of topics are driven by direct information acquired from manufacturers in Florida. When FLATE accepted the challenge of rebuilding the engineering technology education structure in Florida, the way to a professional engineering license in Florida was from the associate's degree to a Bachelor of Science in Engineering. The BS in engineering degree options included a BS degree in engineering from an ECA or ABET accredited program. The foreign Bachelor of Science degree options were an ECA ABET accredited program or a program that had been evaluated for equivalency. What was not an option was a Bachelor of Science degree in engineering technology. Today, The Bachelor of Science in Engineering Technology provides another way to acquire a professional engineering license in Florida. What does that degree look like in Florida? The BS degree in Engineering Technology has a set of core courses that include business writing, dynamics, electrical engineering and lab, engineering economics analysis, engineering technician calculus 2, metrology and instrumentation, programmable logic applications, project management, senior design courses, and statics. There is also a suite of course option selections. In Industrial Fundamentals, there are two selections from Applied Logistics, Applied Reliability, Engineering Quality Assurance, Operational Management, and Operational Safety. In addition, there are other options, one from Materials, selecting from Materials and Processes, Strength of Materials and Construction, Energy, Energy Systems, Fluid Mechanics, and Thermodynamics, and selecting one from a programming set that includes C++, Java programming, and programming in engineering. Returning to Florida's path to a professional engineer, the second E, examination, has its time on stage. There are two exams required of every candidate, the FE and the PE. The hurdle for the ET path was the fact that the engineering technology degree holder was not permitted to take the Principles and Practices exam. Thus, our next task was to get the license board and the state legislature to provide permission to offer the examination to ET degree recipients. That was accomplished through a combination of board mandate and legislative approval. With the examination structure in place, the third E requirement, experience, was established. The expectation of the experience stage is the licensed candidate has acquired the on-the-job experience a starting professional engineer is expected to possess. Returning to the third slide of this presentation, there is one exception to Mr. Peabody's perception of the year 2020. The ET pathway became law in 2019, with the first licensees using this pathway in 2020. In summary, the requirements for acquiring a professional engineering license in Florida include the Bachelor of Science in Engineering from an EAC or ABET program, the Bachelor of Science in Engineering Technology from an EAC or ABET program, pass the Fundamentals of Engineering exam, meet mentoring period requirements with registered engineer, pass the Principles and Practice of Engineering exam. Daytona State College has two engineering technology pathways, the ET degree and the IT degree. Both are designed and structured to provide the flexibility to address any constraints AS degree students put into play. This includes the ability to absorb articulation agreements nuances of the 23 state colleges that offer the AS-ET degree, enroll in the BSET program part-time with full-time employment in Florida industry sectors, and the last 2 years can be completed completely online. The BS degree also meets competency requirements embedded within an ABET accredited engineering degree program and the knowledge and skill expectations for the technical workforce in Florida-based industry. Advanced Manufacturing uses engineering technology expertise in all of its manufacturing floor operations. Manufacturers also prefer the multi-focused skill set qualities of the ET professional at all levels of plant management. Historically, Florida's need for ET professionals at any level has followed a plug-flow demand model. This reality created periods when there was little need or no preparation for new ET professionals. A consequence of these preparation gaps lengthened the lag time for Florida manufacturers to respond to new technologies. Today, Florida has an ET professional pathway that is resilient to alterations in the workforce supply and demand status, distributed across Florida's entire post-secondary technical education structure, amicable to timely industry input at all levels of professional development. Fundamentally, an open time and easy access process. Extremely supportive of a licensed professional engineer status as a career terminal target. I don't have the knowledge and nerve to use Mr. Peabody's invention. However, the question, how you're going to keep them down on the farm after they've seen Paris, is a good way to focus attention on this topic. So we will use a simple pendulum to slide us into today's presentation.